Today we sit down with Chris Sanders to talk about her latest film, Red Dog. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today to talk about such a great film. I mean, personally, I've watched it several times. It's fantastic, and it was one of the highest grossing films of 2011. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Well, Red Dog is a film about a dog who actually spent his life travelling around Western Australia. The film's set in 1979, and it all begins when a truck driver stops in the town of Dampier, and his name's Tom, and he goes into the bar, the local bar, and he comes across a group of men trying to euthanize a dog. Anyway, the men can't euthanize this dog, and this is when we're first introduced to Red Dog. So the men go back to the bar with Thomas, and these miners, which work for Hammersley Iron, start telling Thomas about the stories they have with Red Dog and all the memories. And they also tell him how Red Dog was a dog for everybody, but never had a true master. But they also tell him about how all that changed when American John Grant came to town.
I really love the way this film lets you experience the Aussie bush theme in a new and fresh way. What themes are you trying to communicate through this film?
I was really trying to achieve the Australian bush story theme of mateship, loyalty and respect between man and dog, which really is a staple in Australian working life. During the film we see strong mateship qualities between Red Dog and the people of Dampier, although the loyalty and respect part of the film only really begins when John comes to town. There was always great mateship between everyone Red Dog encountered, but he was only really loyal to one man, and that was John. John becomes Red Dog's true master, and Red Dog has respect for John as John has respect for Red Dog. Mateship was also prominent between the Dampier community, a bunch of miners from different places. A lot of strong bonds were formed throughout the film. Also, the landscape played a huge part in the film. The backdrop for the story is the vast red Pilbara Desert, with its immense iron ore mines and its beaches and turquoise Indian Ocean off the attractive Western Australian coast. To me, the landscape really represented the harshness of the Australian outback and what these people had to endure. The extreme heat of the outback, the widely recognised Australian red dirt, it all plays a huge part. The explosive energy from the landscape really radiated through the entire film, giving it that beautiful Australian outback feel.
Successful Australian films have also communicated similar themes to what you've communicated in the film Red Dog. In fact, producer Nelson Wass and yourself said that the film Waking Fright had an influence on Red Dog.
Well, I guess Red Dog could be viewed as a much lighter version of Waking Fright, another outback film that myself and Nelson pay homage to in Red Dog. This is probably most recognisable in the gambling scene at the pub. At first glance it evokes the game of Two Up that features so ominously in Waking Fright, but is comically revealed to be the men of Dampier betting on how quickly Red Dog can eat a bowl of dog food. Comedy generally has a wide and broad appeal. The number one runaway Australian film success of all time, Crocodile Dundee, was also a comedy about Australianness, set partly in the stunning outback locations. The irreverent humour of the Aussie larrikin is certainly one of Red Dog's attractions, as it was Crocodile Dundee's.
Well, you did do a fantastic job in communicating those themes in the film. I guess the success is due to the film techniques you used. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, definitely. Sound was a huge part of the film. We put together a really great soundtrack packed with Oz rock songs. Since the land plays a huge part in the film, you'll see quite a lot of extreme wide shots and very wide shots, which we used to really show the audience the landscape. The film was packed full of some really great close-ups, most of which were on Red Dog himself. In regards to lighting, we used what was naturally there. I mean, the natural hues on set during the day were just stunning. So we worked with that, and the end result was just beautiful. We really did keep things simple, because when working with Australian landscapes, all you need is something simple to create a film people want to watch, a film that's beautiful.
How do you think Red Dog has contributed to the Australian film and identity?
Well, Red Dog is definitely a popular new outback legend that Australia has welcomed to its canon, along with those of Waltzing Matilda, Ned Kelly, and of course the fictitious Crocodile Dundee. The legacy of the film's success is already evident. There are reports of a stage musical of Red Dog in development. We took home Best Film at the AACTA Awards and Best Feature Film at the IF Awards. Red Dog has screened at many international film festivals, including Berlin, Busan, and Dallas, and took out the US $100,000 grand prize at the Heartland Film Festival in Indianapolis. Red Dog has taken all the traditional and widely recognised Australian themes and presented them in a completely modern and exciting way. So I'd say Red Dog has really breathed life back into the Australian film industry and actually reminded people internationally that the Australian film industry still exists and is better than ever.
A huge thank you to Chris Senders for talking to us today. It was great having you.
Thank you, it was a pleasure being here.
Make sure you go out and buy Red Dog. It is a great film to see.